Hey, ladies and gentlemen, a good Wednesday morning to you. Hope y'all are doing good out there this Wednesday morning. We hit the midweek of this upcoming Memorial Day weekend. I have to say upcoming because today's episode also, as we say, on our open, ladies and gentlemen, again, of the almost 400 strong. To my day oneers out there, welcome into another episode of A Different View. I think by now, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know the heart of your boy KJ on this podcast. This is not about promotion of violence. Although there is an article that I just posted on my Facebook page about outrage in the precious town of Brooklyn, where a lot of my family is from. Where a lot of people that you may know are from. Those are my New York brothers and sisters. How y'all doing out there, right? We ain't gonna do all the tropes that everybody does about New York because we can do that for every state in this nation. But how y'all doing out there, right? What up? One time for my New York brothers and sisters, man. Brooklynites, if you want to put a word on it, right? Oh, how we can get into a conversation about the ites to my Islamic brothers and sisters, and to my black brothers and sisters, how we can get into a conversation about that word ites. See, to my Christian brothers and sisters, you got to understand, I want to be very clear. We're a family. Jews, Islamic people, and Christians. We are a family joined by Father Abraham. I know we don't want to look at it that way. That's fine. Y'all keep hating on your Islamic brothers and sisters. That's fine. Because clearly it's shown where it's getting us real far in this world, man. And maybe if we put down the guns, you wouldn't have to talk about. Maybe if we just share land in peace, huh? We wouldn't have. It's funny how, see, again, I told y'all life operates in pattern. It operates in pattern. And the refusal of people to start seeing some of this pattern. But today, see, yeah. Proof is in the youth, y'all. In the 60s and 70s, the proof was in the youth, y'all. We can go back in time. The youth. Do you know why? Because when you get old in your mind, you get set in your ways and you forget to renew your mind. And when you do, that thing look real funky, y'all. Again, shout out to the Methodists, man, who's sitting there splitting away from the church. We reject certain things that we should be holding on to. Guys, this is about inclusion, not exclusion. I know. Y'all believe homosexuality from what you've read in the Bible is a sin. That's too. Again, I re-reference what happened in the Reformation. Why was there the Reformation, y'all? I don't want to look it up. I could. We could spend some time on it. All you got to do is ask your phone a question. Why was there the Reformation? See, again, information is right at your fingertips. But people do not want to know a thing. And it's funny, two things that coincide when you deal with the church. Here's where we get into the message, y'all. We're talking about the word vain today. The Reformation was necessary because Catholicism lost its way, chasing after massa. Now, when you go into the 16th century, we've gone over centuries on this podcast, right? See, here's another thing that unfortunately Christians don't do, right? Because you made it too spooky. God is real. God is real, y'all. Same thing with evolution. Why do you assume that this thing was made only a couple thousands of years when clearly you've got proof of things, that things were done at least at tens of thousands of years? Why do you do that? And we go back and forth on this right? This has been the thing all this. I'm just asking a question. Why do y'all do that? Do you really assume that the 7 days you read about in the Bible, we're going to put that out here for everybody, by the way, huh? We're going to air the dirty laundry. I know. Oh, okay, then you're supposed to be doing it in secret, and whatever is done in secret is brought out in the open, y'all. So let's go. You will not make God out a liar. I got to say it, and I'm saying it real bold. You're not going to make, none of us are, right? None of us are going to make God out a liar here. You must figure out your salvation with fear and trembling. That's a very real thing, right? So we're going to stand by something, and let's just go into it. Why was the Reformation necessary? Here's some of the things that you find when you search through Microsoft Bing, because they dumb it down for you a little bit. It's nice how they do that. Right now, again, I do suggest y'all go study, look at sources, all that kind of thing. This is stuff I've seen, not because I'm web searching, as people say. See, again, another one of these things that people do is constantly try to find ways of disproving truth. Speaking on that, yesterday I was remiss, because it was a yesterday episode that I made. I was remiss in saying, because again, your boy get excited. So I want to clarify, right? When I'm reading the definitions of those words, the first one was fact, not truth. The second one was truth, not fact. Okay. Let me see if I just left it up here. I might not have, because I try to clear stuff, but we can. It's just as easy as saying fact definition in your phones. You can speak to your phones now, you know, or computer, whichever one you want to do. Fact, a thing that is known or proven to be true. Very interesting how true and fact coincide, but I digress. That's a noun. Information used as evidence or as part of a news report or as a part of a report or news article. Again, in talking about medium, as I was talking about yesterday, there's this whole idea here with people playing around with both fact and truth. There's no difference. They're both the same. Different ways that humans describe a thing. Now, here is the distinction. You want to sit there and tell me, because of this equivocal language that has been made, see, but you've got to talk about things that deal with racism and financial impropriety in order to come to these conclusions. Can't stay in this spooky zone. You got to come down to the level. And we're going to get into this verse here. Because again, there is a way leader with us, of which we are way pointers, y'all. And y'all pick and choose. This is why I will never diss somebody else's belief. What are we doing? What are you doing? Why are we doing that? No. Talk about your own. Talk about the problems in your own first. So let's keep rolling. The truth about events as opposed to interpretation. And that's where your issue is when you're dealing with the word fact, is the interpretation of the truth. They both coincide. They're not separate. People keep putting a lot of separations where there needs to be connections. And that's why a lot of y'all are missing it. When you speak on the things that deal in life, this is why I had to say the definition of lust to y'all, because people keep making it too spooky. What you want in life, the strong desire for the things you want in life, can be twisted. The way it was said in Star Wars, see, again, we discredit certain things, right? Because it's science fiction. Ain't nobody, quote unquote, floating in the sky or raising rocks from the ground, right? Ain't nobody slashing each other with lightsabers. They do it with swords, but I digress, right? They do it with guns, but I digress, because it's not a lightsaber, right? So again, we still in May, y'all. Shout out to May, right? Here's the thing, is the interpretation of the thing. There is that which came that is not of this planet, spoken to this planet. I'm just talking about how we look at things from the Christian standpoint for those who are non-Christians to understand. And in some of this, I do believe non-Christians are understanding. They're just calling out Christians and they ain't ready to see it. Yet I digress. Okay. That's like saying your cousin that is not part of your immediate family is letting you know, hey, there's something foul, funky going on with you, and you don't want to pay attention to it. Again, I reference an example I've already brought up. You got the father raped the son, or the mother raped the son, or the daughter, or uncle, whoever raped niece or nephew, whoever, and then y'all at the family dinner like we know nothing. You got benign neglect going on, which is the same benign neglect that goes on in governmental things across this planet. How shocking. The similarities between the two. I wonder why. Because y'all chased after Nero. Because you chased after Herod. Because you chased after Donald Trump. And you chase after Joe Biden. You're not chasing after the grand designer. Can we balance the two, please? The stuff raised by greedy government officials is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. Right and wrong is a thing whether you believe in Christianity or you don't, ladies and gentlemen. And it is time we all stand. This was the beauty of the Rainbow Coalition that I know Christians stood against because of the violent part, the violent element. Yet you are supposed to protect yourself. So why would you twist it? Again, you want to call out the wrong, like in this article here from the police during this protest against the damage being done to Palestinians that we discredit so. Middle Eastern sand Negroes, to say it a certain way, because again, I'm done on certain things here. You call them sand monkeys. That's what you call them. Is that right? Is it right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm asking a question. See, again, general and specific speech. Do you know another one of those things implanted in your mind by Massa? The idea that anytime anybody speaks on something specific, you got to make it generalized. Hard to accept, but once you walk that road, it's easier. See, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. We've been taking up yokes. That's connection points. We talked about that here as far as interracial, intercultural marriage goes. And go back to those episodes and you'll hear it. Okay, with that minister talking about how wrong it is for folks to be getting interculturally married, but I digress, man. We are promoting humanity's own division and you won't call each other out on it? What are we doing? You know, when that race, religion, and racism, shout out one time to Dr. Frederick K.C. Price. In a time where Christians were concerned only with money. Now, there's nothing wrong with money, y'all. But the love of money, that's a problem. We got too concerned with the stuff that rusts and rots, and we forgot about those who last on forever. You want to talk about the soul. You know nothing of it. We know nothing of it. We are learning ourselves as we go. There is vanity involved here. So let's get into that word because it shows up a lot in the Bible. See, again, I'm done on what folks is doing. So we're going to expose it a little bit. That's all. That's all. No different than the right reporter out there who is after, kind of like what you see in the movie Civil War. That's after showing that which is the damage from violence. Unprovoked, because you won't let people live in peace. Like I put this thing up about lynchings and how back in the day y'all was cool with lynching brothers and sisters. Your own brothers and sisters. Dare I say Christian brothers and sisters. Because see, again, you've already had practice with it hundreds of years ago with the Salem witch hunt. Because you think that witches are evil. And that's okay. Because again, the whole thing comes out in the end. Big mama, as they say in the hood, aka grandmother, aka you could use that for your mother. Our ancestors told us what does not come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. Thank God for knowledge, man. See, we reject knowledge and we pay. I've already said it. We're going to keep on saying it because repetition is necessary for learning, y'all. We reject knowledge, so we pay the price for it. We both lack and reject knowledge. We're paying the price for it, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to find out. Stop being okay with what you learned from grandmama. Solely learn for yourself and then see if the two match. This is a game of memory, ladies and gentlemen. Things hidden before time. The apple don't match with the orange. And before y'all go there with certain different things, we're not talking about transgender people and all that kind of thing. We got to stop doing that. There's certain events here in life that don't match. Okay? Life started a long time ago. And it's not for us to put a date on it. It's us to roll with it, dress and keep it. That's it. So when somebody comes up and says something may or may not have happened, don't poo-poo that right away. Take into consideration maybe there's some fact to it. When Jesus was tempted of the enemy, which I mentioned on this podcast before. Oh man, shout out to my day oneers, man. Yo, shout out to y'all, man. Honestly, because again, it took a lot of boldness for me to start doing this podcast, because this information is what bucks the mind, man. I mean, this the stuff I'm telling y'all is like earth shattering, literally. But it was that same earth shattering that spoke on the darkness, on the void, and said, "Let there be light." We are made in that same likeness, ladies and gentlemen. So vain, having or showing an excessively high opinion of one's appearance, abilities, or worth. Producing, this is an adjective about what you is when you vain. Like the good old song that will probably come to some of y'all's mind while I'm saying it. You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. Oh man, how we fall for it, ladies and gentlemen. We fall for it hook, line, and sinker. We really, yeah. We really do. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. We're hurting our kids. We have hurt our kids. We're hurting our grandkids. We have hurt our grandkids. And we will continue this pattern until you come away from among them and be ye separate. You got to separate, folks. Malcolm X was not wrong. You got to come away. They don't want you around. You got to come away, ladies and gentlemen. That's how this works. That's how the game works in order to preserve peace, not because you're being violent. They were lying when they said that man was violent. Ain't got nothing to do with violence. You're supposed to defend yourself. You go around hurting somebody else's woman. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to defend them. And it ain't promoting violence. That's what defense looks like. We need to stop messing with each other. That's the point, yo. Stop twisting belief to hurt people and use it to set them free. That's what Jesus' whole thing was against the scribes and Pharisees. Man, that's one of the realest people who walked this planet was Jesus. Not saying there weren't others. And again, as far as Christians are concerned, see, again, I'm not coming off more highly than I ought to. The Son of God didn't look at this thing like he was greater than. He looked at this thing as part of something. What are you going to do? See, yeah, we're good on talking a thing. But what do you do? Can you speak against that which you've learned this whole time? Can you do it? What would Jesus do? He would give his life for his friends. Y'all not yet ready to do that. None of us are. That's what we've been told, but that's where you're going to. That's what you're marching towards. And it's okay. Because at the end of the day, we're supposed to love and protect each other. That's the dress and keep part. That's the purpose of humans. Producing no result and useless. So, as we go into end out here, because I'm not keeping y'all long. We're not keeping y'all long. This is just what life is, y'all. You accept it or you don't. It is not that difficult, man. We humans, I keep saying it. We make it difficult, man. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. We make it difficult. To get into and understand something, you must understand the heart of something. So, when you're talking about the grand designer and fashioner, you have to understand the heart in which a thing was done. So, we're going to go to Philippi, land of Philippi, which I said it that way, so y'all look up what was going on in Philippi. Where is Philippi? Get reference to what you read, y'all. Here's how it goes. If there be any consolation, any comfort of love, any fellowship of the Spirit, any bowels and mercies. This is what's missing from people, man. This is where is it on the inside of you? And they say bowels, that's old school English, man, for what's in you, man. What's in some of us got Domino's pizza. Hey, I'm talking to somebody trying to lose weight, man. Y'all got Domino's pizza, KFC, Popeye's chicken. Love that chicken from Popeye. You got McDonald's and Burger King and all other types of things. Different parts of the world got different places. Go out in Oklahoma and certain places like that, they got Cane's, Raising Cane's, right? Taco Bell. Most of my Latin brothers and sisters, I have a problem with Taco Bell because there ain't nothing authentic about a lot of this stuff, right? It's just there to kill you. Matter of fact, probably healthier eating homemade tacos than it is this mess, but I digress, right? Bowels of mercy. Fulfill ye my joy. Again, this is a letter to someone, right? I'm taking the names of who the people are and all that out because again, we're getting stuck on a thing, not seeing the heart of a thing. So just read this with just in your mind, walk with me. If you're reading it, read it with me, whatever, right? Fulfill ye my joy that you be like-minded. Y'all got to start finding people that's like-minded, man. When they talk about that, forsake the assembly, that ain't mean you being the good boy and girl going to church you get yourself around people that are like-minded like you. Brethren, sistren. I know they only say brethren. Again, y'all dealing with, but anyway, right? Get yourself around people who are like you, who are okay understanding different ideas and thought processes that you might be able to come together under certain things, y'all. It's already happening one way. So why would y'all sit in solitude? Again, it's not good for humans to be alone. Still, I got a problem with men and women. But guess what? You couldn't have run that garden without the woman. I bet you that. That's exactly what God told you. Men got a problem. People in general who buy into this kind of soul lone wolf kind of thing. Be careful. Yeah, there might be some things where you do something alone, but it's not good for you to just be alone. Two different things. That you be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife and vainglory. Switch out vain for this word. Having or showing excessively high opinion of one's appearance, abilities, or worth glory. Producing no result or useless glory. Again, we've already said on this podcast before, the things you're supposed to do should profit you. If it's not bringing a no result, I don't want it. If all that makeup and stuff you're putting on is not giving you a certain inside feeling, because that's a real thing, and also, to an extent, an outside feeling, like getting you to certain places in life. Now, that's not using and manipulating people. We're talking about how people look at each other. See, that prejudging thing, right? Unfortunately, because people only rely on prejudging, there is a certain way you have to look. Although, never lose your originality because of it. So you're not just chasing after, right? There's a difference. I know, it's flipping the mind a little bit. Let it simmer. Let it simmer in your mind. Think on it. Think on it don't mean just 5 seconds, y'all. It means think on it. Like, the fact they don't want you daydreaming about things because they don't want you thinking on nothing long enough because you just might actually find something. Anyway, most of your inventors are like that. They daydreamed a lot and they found ways of doing it. You got to think on, never mind. See, again, consider, right? We went over that word consider. But in loneliness of mind, this is meekness, ladies and gentlemen, right? Let each esteem other or the other better than themselves. Now, this does not mean, again, we're talking the balance of something. You don't always think everybody better than you, huh? But you don't think of yourself better than others. Not to the point where you're putting someone down. Again, this is why I say pride and haughtiness are two different things. There's a difference. Meekness. When you start putting yourself in the mindsets, this is what I mean, this lowliness of... Okay, hold on. We'll do this for 2 seconds. Remind you of a thing that we've already talked about here on this podcast before. Submissiveness. The fact or condition of being meek, that's silly, right? Cut that part out. Is that what it went? Okay, yeah, see, we're talking about meekness. Actually, I put meekness. Let's switch out meekness and just say meek. because that's where it's coming from. Quiet, gentle, easily imposed upon. Again, that word submissive. Folks don't know how to be submissive. But again, you got to put yourself in the place of being easily imposed upon, being quiet and gentle. Now, that don't mean you get walked on. That means you just not going around barking around like you don't need to do all that. I don't need to do that to show you I'm the man, because I'm the man. Dude, man, I wish people would get it. Whew. Jeez, help people. When you know you the woman, when you know you the man, you ain't got to go around showing yourself you the man. You don't need a big old pickup truck to tell you the man or the woman. You don't need a fancy car. You walk around with that confidence on the inside, but you put yourself in a place where you're not better than someone else, because by the grace of God, there go I. I could be different. Ty Tribbett, since people got a problem with Ty Tribbett. It's a song came out back in the day from it. Talking about, if it was me, thank God it's not me. That's the paraphrase. I'm phrasing the song because I don't remember the song. I remember singing it all the time, but it's a real song. It could have been me. That's the name of the song. The memory is a powerful thing, y'all. Given by a great designer. But I digress. At the end of the day, it's only recalling, though, what you put in it. We got to get better at getting where your information coming from, so that you can pull upon the thing in the time of trouble. But anyway, you got to understand this could have been y'all. See, but when greed is at work, you ain't worried about what someone else, you only worried about you. Yet, if you balance that properly, if you are true, I've mentioned this before, when you look at the definition of selfish, when you are truly selfish and it's all about you, you want to make sure the people are taken care of so it never affects you. Which is why more people need to be paid on their job, because it is affecting the rich. More people need better access to healthcare and lower healthcare costs because it is affecting the rich. I digress. Again, life is a way of showing people things, man. There are certain things. Nobody, ain't nobody gonna die in the ark, or die. There ain't no be no rainstorm, right? Ain't no need to get in that ark until that rainstorm came. Then everybody know. Now you know now. Ain't nobody going to take over our kingdom. So grand in design and fashion. Oh, you got to look at history and see how many different empires have fallen. Seriously? There wasn't enough money spent on defense. Guys, we see again, you just got to be real. The real power is in us coming together. And they ain't going to worry about nobody taking over anybody. And again, at the same time, you would always work on defending yourself. But that doesn't mean you spend exorbitant. You can put that exorbitant amount of money into defense, but not into the people that are there to help you defend. You know, like when you can go draft people when you have a war that is pseudo in nature, because again, people can't get along. We got to stop the enemy. The Russians and the Chinese and blah, 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 blah. They're all the enemy. Yet y'all are okay with Europe coming here and taking these lands. And let me leave it alone. Let me leave it alone and continue this verse. Oh man, whew. Jesus, there's levels to this, y'all, that people are really not seeing yet. Again, when we talk about Mental Health Awareness Month, DID, cognitive dissonance, man. Let me tell you what. let's just look at that for a minute. In case y'all don't know what it is, the definition of cognitive dissonance, man. This is from verywellmind.com. Okay. Now, again, you just look up the word cognitive and dissonance and just do the same thing. Okay. The mental discomfort that results from holding two conflicting beliefs and values, again, become of one mind, y'all. I'll never question that I'm not Christian. I am. But I'm not also going to sit here and believe in and support the fluff that comes from my brothers and sisters in the Christian faith. I won't do it. We got to love each other down here and leave each other alone. Stop bullying folks, because that's what this comes down to. You turn the holy words of God and you're being bullies. That's not right. You're taking after master. which is why it's easy for y'all to believe in racism. No, we believe Jesus loved everybody. Yeah, except for the ones that have been put as underneath. That's why y'all don't protest in front of retail stores. It's why you don't protest in front of the jails. They got them brothers in there wrong. It's why y'all don't protest in front of banks, where there should be black-owned banks in this nation. It's why y'all don't protest in front of Tulsa. How more powerful would the protest in Tulsa be and every other place where there's quote-unquote Black Wall Street if church folks would stand together? Talk about separation of church and state. You gonna talk that mess to me like that makes sense? It don't. Oh well. Holding two conflicting beliefs. See, you've made two different realities here, y'all. The idea is it's a little different thing because it's actual personalities and stuff like that. Okay. Just with respect to the different conditions that go on in the mind. But again, most Christians think this is devil inspired. I mean, different times I got to go through all the different preachers that I've heard. You look at their tapes and stuff from the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. Y'all talking that mess. God made the mind and the damage that can cause from the mind, but you reject. See again, but those cornerstones you rejected. Ew, this thing is so serious, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is so serious. Two conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes. People tend to seek consistency in their attitudes and perceptions. So this conflict causes unpleasant feelings, unease, or discomfort. Ladies and gentlemen, find the connecting points. Then you don't have to worry about the conflict anymore. The conflict is there because it's a warning on the inside of your mind that something's off. Something's not right. It's not making sense. Number one, you need people help it make sense. Don't poo-poo therapy. Go find you people that can help you make sense of this life. I know, especially with men. Oh, stop. Nah, I want to say it a certain way, the way y'all say it. But stop griping and moaning and complaining and blah, blah, blah. And maybe y'all would stop beating your wives so much, kicking the dog, cat, and the kids and your neighbors if you sat down in the chair and talked about what's going on in your mind and in your heart a little bit. Because again, we just read yesterday, you're supposed to be able to nurture. You can't do that now when you screwed up in your mind, can you? Again, this deals in a lot of deep stuff here. So let us continue. Let this mind also be, look not every man, and then we're going to end here. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. When are we going to get that through our heads, y'all? This is like, when do we get that thought process through our heads? It's not just about you. Huh? And normally when you find out it's not just about you, this is when you start talking this unification kind of thing. Because it's not just about you. But anyway, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ. Being in the form of God did not think it robbery. It wasn't robbery. He wasn't stealing from God thinking that he was equal with God. So why is it that y'all get on people when they say they're gods and goddesses in this planet? You're made in the likeness of, aren't you? Yeah, I know. It's hard for folks. Because somebody else taught you something. You didn't go see it for yourself. Now this is where people get the disconnect between verse 6 and 7. But we're going to show you how cool God is here. We're going to show you what this is here. We're not separating from folks. We're right where they are. That's what you need. This thing of talking about meekness, this is the context in this verse. Don't be so vain that you separate yourself from people, because it is people that are in the heart of God, man. Where is the compassion? Anyway, being in the form of God thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself. Now, this is what people think. See, again, the Bible talks a lot about this idea of what people think. See, you are made in the likeness of, and they dumb it down on you on purpose so that you never rise up into who you really are. The protectors of love and peace down here. But this is where we at, y'all. But made himself of no reputation, took upon the form of a servant. Now, this is all analogies talking about humans, the human body, God being, and again, for those who don't believe in it, so be it. I'm not here to do that here. I told y'all, not on this platform. It's not happening here. Took upon the form of a servant, was made in the likeness of humans. And being found fashioned as humans, humbled himself. See, again, God ain't so up there, y'all. People making you think God up there. God is the creator and the leader and the designer and the fashioner of this thing without a doubt. But not to the point where you can't come down on my level. Thank God for it. That's the beauty of Christianity. That's the beauty of believing the faith, as it is said. And that's the one y'all not talking about enough, Christian brother and sister. We don't lord it over anybody. There's one God of all. And we follow in the fashion and likeness of. I don't mean that gives you the opportunity to go kicking down another human. No, it don't. He humbled himself and became obedient to death, which is a wild thought there in itself, even the death of the cross. So that's what we got for y'all today. When can you put yourself on the line? When can we do it, ladies and gentlemen? When can we band together as humanity and do it and build these businesses? Support other people, because in their support is our profit. Integration, as they have made it, is a lie, ladies and gentlemen. It's a half-truth, because you don't see other people coming up the way they're supposed to. That's because they used it as a trap to keep us stuck and to allow them to continue rising on our stuckness. That's what I got for y'all today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for walking this road with me. I thank y'all very much. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to do this and to be able to speak a truth that's been in my heart and mind for a long, long time. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, look to find the beauty in a different view.